The cleanest mistake! Picture the most expensive water advert imaginable. Frosted glass, a black marble kitchen, a bottle labeled 100% pure, as if somebody finally managed to improve on water. No minerals, no taste, no suspicious little atoms cluttering up the experience, just immaculate H2O, polished until it feels less like a drink and more like a lifestyle decision. Here is the twist. Perfectly pure water is useful in laboratories and chip factories precisely because it is so chemically eager to pick things up. But inside a human body, the story is not pure equals poisonous. A normal sip is not going to erase you. The danger begins when a person drinks a large amount of water faster than the kidneys can get rid of it, especially when the water contains very little dissolved salt. Then, the cleanest looking drink can help create a very messy medical emergency.
Oh, splendid. You have purchased a beverage with the nutritional personality of an empty spreadsheet. Very aspirational, very sleek. Entirely unaware that your body is not a showroom for minimalist appliances. So do not fling your kettle into the sea, you startled crumpet. This is not a horror film about one treacherous gulp. It is a lesson in quantity, timing, and the frankly rude fact that biology refuses to be impressed by a label.
Chapter 1. You are not a bucket. Water in, health out. But your body is not a bucket that needs filling. It is a living chemistry set trying to keep thousands of measurements within narrow limits. Your blood carries sodium, potassium, glucose, proteins, and countless other dissolved particles. Those particles help control where water sits, how nerves fire, how muscles contract, and how cells hold their shape. When people say electrolytes, they often picture neon sports drink adverts. In reality, electrolytes are charged minerals that help electricity travel through you. Your heartbeat, your thoughts, and the squeeze of every muscle depend on that quiet electrical traffic. The key measurement here is the concentration of sodium in the blood. Sodium does not merely season your chips, it helps determine the concentration of the fluid surrounding your cells. If that outside fluid becomes too diluted, water moves toward the relatively more concentrated space inside cells. That movement is called osmosis, and it is not interested in your wellness goals.
You are not a luxury water bottle with anxiety. You are a salty, electrically powered weather system wearing shoes. Remove the balance, and the forecast becomes confusion, nausea, and an extremely poor afternoon.
Chapter 2. The hungry water myth and the real problem. Ultra-pure water is sometimes described as hungry water. That phrase has a grain of truth outside the body. Because it contains almost no dissolved material, it can dissolve or carry contaminants very readily. It is valuable for rinsing sensitive electronics and laboratory equipment. But it is misleading to imagine that a glass of ultra-pure water marches through your bloodstream, stealing minerals directly from every cell like a tiny chemical burglar. Your stomach contents mix, your intestines absorb fluid, your kidneys filter blood and adjust what they keep or release. A healthy person can generally handle ordinary drinking without drama. Trouble appears when intake overwhelms that system. Drinking liters in a short time during endurance exercise, forcing down water in a challenge, over-drinking during heat, or taking medicines and having conditions that make water removal harder. In those circumstances, the issue is not that water is pure in a mystical sense. It is that there is too much water relative to the dissolved salts in the body, especially sodium.
At last, a sentence I can say without writing an angry letter to a cartoon. Water is not a pickpocket in a little balaclava. The risk is dilution. Far less cinematic, admittedly. But the universe has never cared about your thumbnail.
Chapter 3. Osmosis? Physics with no bedside manner. Imagine a cell as a tiny water balloon filled with a carefully mixed soup of salts and proteins. Its membrane is selective, but water can cross it surprisingly easily. If the fluid outside that cell becomes more diluted than the fluid inside, water shifts inward. It is not choosing sides. It is following the basic physical push toward a more equal concentration. Most cells have some room to cope with small changes, but brain cells live inside the skull, a hard container with almost no spare space. If they swell significantly, pressure can build where pressure is least welcome. That is why severe hyponatremia, dangerously low blood sodium caused by dilution, can become life-threatening. Early symptoms can include headache, nausea, vomiting, unusual fatigue, irritability, and confusion. As it worsens, a person may become disoriented, have seizures, lose consciousness, or stop breathing normally. This is an emergency, not a detox reaction, and not something to push through.
Osmosis does not read your intentions, your affirmations, or the inspirational quote on your water bottle. It sees an imbalance and immediately starts redecorating your cells from the inside. If your brain is sending you a headache, confusion, and vomiting after you have been aggressively hydrating, that is not your body applauding. It is filing a formal complaint in capital letters.
Chapter 4. Why more water feels so virtuous. So why do sensible people sometimes overdo it? Because water has become a moral object. Carrying a giant bottle looks disciplined. Finishing it looks productive. The number on the side turns bodily care into a daily score. We love clean rules because they remove uncertainty. 8 glasses, 3 liters, 1 gallon. Tick the box and feel upgraded. But hydration is not a subscription service with one plan for every human. Your needs change with heat, exercise, food, body size, illness, pregnancy, medicines, and how much water you are losing through sweat. A fixed target can be useful as a reminder, but it is not a commandment. Thirst is not perfect, especially during long exercise or for some older adults, but for most day-to-day situations, it is a valuable signal. Drinking with meals, responding to thirst, and adjusting for conditions makes more sense than treating water as a competitive event. Urine color can also offer a rough clue. Pale yellow usually suggests reasonable hydration. Completely clear urine all day, every day can be a sign you may be taking in more fluid than you need, though it is not a diagnosis by itself.
Naturally, you attempted to solve a complex biological system with a giant plastic jug and a sticker chart. This is the same species that puts "calm down" on a cushion and calls it mental health care.
Chapter 5. The scenarios where it goes wrong. One risk setting is endurance sport. A runner hears "drink early and often," worries about dehydration, and keeps drinking at every station. If fluid intake outpaces sweat loss and sodium replacement, blood sodium can fall. Another is heat or physically demanding work. Sweating removes both water and salt. Replacing only huge amounts of plain water very quickly may worsen dilution rather than solve the problem. There are also social media dares, rapid water drinking contests, and misguided detoxes. The body is not impressed that the challenge has a cheerful hashtag. Kidneys need time. Some medical conditions and medicines can also change how the body handles water. People with heart, kidney, liver, or endocrine problems, or anyone following a clinician fluid advice should follow that personalized guidance rather than generic internet targets. And if someone becomes confused, repeatedly vomits, has a seizure, collapses, or is hard to wake after heavy fluid intake or endurance exercise, seek urgent emergency help. Do not try to correct a suspected sodium problem with home experiments.
A water challenge is one of those ideas that sounds harmless, until you remember the internet once needed warnings not to eat washing powder capsules. Your kidneys are organs, not 2 furious little drain pipes installed for content.
Chapter 6. Why pure water exists, just not as a wellness trophy. Ultra-pure water is real, and it is remarkable. Semiconductor factories use it to wash microscopic contaminants from silicon wafers. Laboratories use highly purified water so unknown minerals do not spoil experiments. that does not make it a superior everyday beverage. It makes it specialized industrial and scientific equipment. A perfectly clean paintbrush is useful. It is not automatically a better toothbrush. Typical drinking water contains small amounts of minerals, but your diet, not the mineral content of your water, is usually the major source of electrolytes. The point is not to fear purified water, tap water, bottled water, or filtered water. The point is to stop confusing absence with superiority. Your body thrives on balance, not on the most extreme version of a good idea.
Finally, a product category you have not tried to turn into a personality. Leave the microchip rinse water to the microchips. They are already emotionally unavailable enough.
Chapter 7, The Sensible Ending. If you are thirsty, drink. If you are exercising for a long time, working in heat, or losing a lot of sweat, plan your fluids sensibly and use evidence-based sports or medical advice for your situation. Do not force excessive water because a bottle, an influencer, or a productivity app made it feel virtuous. And do not panic about a glass of very pure water. Context is everything. The healthiest water habit is not perfection. It is paying attention to thirst, conditions, symptoms, and the fact that more is not always better.
The universe remains inconveniently nuanced. You are not a filthy machine that needs flushing, nor a sacred vase that must be filled exactly to the printed line. You are a complicated sack of seawater with a calendar. Put down the gallon jug. Have a normal drink when you need one. And please, for the dignity of chemistry, stop trying to hydrate like a motherboard. Dismissed.